Check, check, check. There we go. Hold on. Make sure this is working correctly. I think it is. What's happening with the chat? All right, this will be better. This sounds better in my headphones. I'm deaf. I need it a little bit higher. All right, let's go. I know it's a weird start time. What's going on with the chat room? How come I don't see anybody? How come I'm seeing nobody in my chat room? Let's see here. I know it's when I join in late, I don't get to see what's going on ahead of time, so I don't get to see who's squatting in there first. I always like to reward the first, but there's Taronda. First person in. Thank you. All right. Hold on. Let's get everything set here. Sorry, running around. Busy next couple of days. Tomorrow's show's also going to be a late start. Tomorrow's show's also going to be around 2. Friday, however, normal noon start. As of now. No, it's going to stay that way because I have to be somewhere at a specific time. So tomorrow will be a 2 o'clock start. And, the best way to do this is just like, follow, subscribe. Isn't that what the kids say? Like, follow, subscribe. Speaking of the kids, all right, by the way, before we speak on the kids, welcome to the Rant. I'm Pugs Moran, talk radio for normal people every day, Monday through Friday, usually in the noon hour, but it can drift sometimes, like today. We're starting at 1:30. Let's pretend we had a ball game on. Let's pretend the ball game went late, right? We have to play like radio, don't we? Sometimes. Kelly Moore Memorial Studios is where we do this show from, the E-Gallery on Dragon Street in the beautiful Dallas Design District every day since 2021. Speaking of the kids, that's what I was talking about. I had an idea. One of my pugs has $1 million idea. Here we go. Here's my $1 million idea. Here's how we all get rich. Saw something last night. I was watching something that's very I'm not going to say what it is, and it's something that's pretty influential with the youngsters out there. The youngsters think it's cool. The youngsters think it's awesome. I think it's fine. I think there's laughs involved. It's fine. I mean, I'm not crazy about it. It's a little bit younger targeted. A little bit. The humor is for people who are a little bit less, let's say, traumatized by the world. Just a bunch of dumb kids making jokes about dumb things, and I encourage that. It doesn't have to be for me. It doesn't mean I needed to go away. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm watching this thing because my kid's really into it. And I noticed that there's one of the guys on this show is a young man, and he's among all of these young guys, everybody's got their types. Everything's a type. You go, there's the nerd. Oh, there's the ladies, man. He's the jock. Everybody's got their role. So this dude's role was kind of, as I was able to tell it, he's the cool guy in the group. He's like the dude that, he's got an arm sleeve tattoo, and he's kind of good looking, and he's wearing a black leather jacket inside, even though they're in the studio, and he's got to be fucking sweating. But he's got a hair. He's a fucking cool guy, man. And he's like 20. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, all right, this guy's working a look. This guy's working a brand. This guy is... And my kid's like, yeah, no, he's my favorite. He's awesome. And I'm like, really? Because here's the thing that I noticed first about this dude in 2025. This like 22-year-old or whatever. In 2025, he's sitting there. This is like something you see on YouTube. He's sitting there and he's talking to the rest of the guys in 2025 at 22 years old. And he is smoking real cigarettes. He's just like... I'm the cool guy among my group because I do cigarettes. And I'm like, cigarettes? So here's my $1 million idea. Cigarettes are coming back. Cigarettes are coming back for the coolest of the cool kids. I'm sorry. Look, I had this experience a couple of years ago. Actually, more like 10 now. It was just when I was living in Chicago. I was at 7-Eleven, and I see this like 12-year-old skateboard punk just on the side of the 7-Eleven, just smoking actual cigarettes. And I'm like, that's the coolest kid in town. I know it's smoking isn't, it's good, it's bad for you. It's terrible. It's terrible. We all make terrible decisions in life. Smoking is a terrible decision to make, but it can be also cool. So your kid looks cool. Sitting there smoking. The coolest kid in all the shows growing up always smoked. Kelly from the Bad News Bears. That kid was ripping nails. Anyway, my point is this. I think that there is an opening for a new cigarette brand. Yeah, that's right. Not Marlboro, not nothing, but just something that's like totally like targeting millennial cool kids. Not millennial, like Gen Z cool kids. I know what you're saying. Pugs, can't encourage underage smoking. I'm not 18. Gotta be 18. The guy I saw on this YouTube video, he was obviously over 18. But he's ripping. Here's what I think is happening. You want to know why? You don't want to know a guy who smokes cigarettes in 2025 and his little group of 20-somethings is cool? Because he's such an anti-hero. Because nobody does it, because it's unique, because these kids are like, oh, wow, that's something my grandpa does. It's like they don't get it because their generation, Gen Z, has been completely, raised with the whole vape. You see these kids everywhere. They're all vaping, right? You think, oh, Pugs, this generation, they're all about the vape. No, they're not. They're not anymore. They're not all about the vape. They will continue to be about the nicotine because, that's the great equalizer. But they ain't about the vape. You want to know why they're not about their vape? Because their grandma with emphysema vapes now. Because their fat aunt vapes with them at Thanksgiving. Because everybody vapes, because vaping ain't cool anymore. Vaping is, the thing you see a fucking geriatric old man at the grocery store doing now, and kids don't find anything interesting in it anymore. It's like Facebook. Facebook was started by a bunch of cool Ivy League kids who were trying to hook up. That's what Facebook was. Facebook was all young people until our aunts and grandmas got involved. There ain't no young kids on Facebook anymore. Well, that's kind of the same thing I think is happening with tobacco. Tobacco, like social media, isn't going anywhere. But the platforms are going to change. And I think that we've got a generation now who has been raised without cigarettes, not grossed out by it like I am. Ugh, so gross. They don't know that. They just think it's cool and like something like, the cool, interesting, mysterious guy does. So I think there's a window. All right, who wants to invest? My new cigarette brand. We're going to sell to kids. 18 plus. But we're going to, it's going to be a cool, hip, not like old man cowboy Marlboro. Fuck that. Kids don't want no cowboy. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that was my $1 million idea. Anybody wants to invest, you can certainly drop the original investment, your entry, if you want, into our Venmo or our Cash App, because this kind of talk radio doesn't come free. We run on your tips and your gratuities. You drop a little something and we keep going for another month. We've been doing it that way since 2021 by my count. It's not worked smashingly well, but it has gotten us to where we need to be. Why? Because certain days we like to appoint an executive producer. Who is the executive producer? The executive producer is the person who drops the biggest tip on the previous day's show. Today we have one such queen, Leslie. Leslie C. is our executive producer. Thank you so much, Leslie. That was a very nice tip. Appreciate you know how much I appreciate these middle of the month tips because we push hard on Pledge Week, but middle of the month, that feels good too. That really gets us to where we need to be. Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate it. All right. Trivia last night. We did trivia last night. Every Tuesday night we go out, we do trivia. We're out there at back nine. Oh, geez, look at me. Like, I don't even remember where we are. Trash trivia, we call it. 4060 Beltline Road, the back nine. Last night was scary. Last night we started out, we were like, we're going to have to cancel this because there's like nobody there. Nobody. It was very late start. Then the people started to show up. The regulars started to show up and we felt very good. And guess what? By the end of it, it was one of our best. Next week's going to be a big one. Next week's going to be a big one. We got big things planned. We got special teams coming out. We're going to blow up next week. Next week is going to be a big one for trash trivia at the back nine, 4060 Beltline Road in sunny, beautiful Addison, Texas. I work hard on the questions, y'all. These are not just rip them off the internet and from the category of 80s TV. It ain't that. All right, I'm going to tell you something. It starts with that, okay? It does, because you need to, get the mind going. So it starts with me looking at trivia questions and going, that one sucks, but here's a better way to say that. So that's kind of what I do all week long. I write these trivia questions, and then I unveil them for you in categories every Tuesday night at the back nine. Now, you may know we invite people from the chat room to come play, hang out, get involved, thank you, by the way. We appreciate it. And Bill Folk has been dominating. Bill has been king of trivia the first 2 weeks. Nobody can touch him. I'm happy to announce we've got a new king of trivia. It's April. April came out yesterday and just... Bill took second. Did Bill take second? I think Bill took second. They all got fabulous prizes and good time was had by all. Let me give you an example of some of the questions here that I got. Let me see. I'll give you. What was the question that I asked? I asked a question yesterday that was real easy that I thought everybody would know, and like nobody knows. It's just a real simple question. Last week I asked another real simple question that I assumed everybody would get right. The simple question from last week was, identical twins, do they have identical fingerprints? Yes or no answer. Yes or no? Like everybody got it wrong. Like just about everybody was like, of course they're identical. They've got identical fingerprints. I'm like, what the? Really? You've existed in a world this whole time where you just think that like fingerprints of twins? Oh, God. I was very upset with April. I was very upset. Maybe she heard the question wrong. Maybe, I don't know. I was very upset with April for getting that one wrong last week. Guess what? April freaking crushed it this week. And you know why? She got questions that nobody else got. And questions that I thought were really easy. And I'll give you an example of two of them that April got. One of them was in the category of 90s television. I asked, what hairstyle or haircut, had a name, what hairstyle swept the country in the 1990s after being seen during must-see TV? What haircut swept the nation in the 1990s after being seen on must-see TV? I thought that was a simple question. That's the Rachel from Friends. I can't tell you how many girls I dated in the 90s that had the Rachel. It was like a super popular haircut. Anyway, I thought that was easy. And everybody got that wrong. Some people even called it the Joey. The Joey? Dude's like, well, I knew it was Friends. I just wasn't sure which. I'm like, really? The Joey. Okay. So there was that question. But April nailed that one. April got it. April knew it was called the Rachel. What was the other one? What's another one? Another get right question that I put out. Oh, yeah, here's an easy one. So I asked everybody, I said, okay, of the siblings, so we're already talking about a group of people we know as siblings, not the parents, the siblings, of the siblings. And it's crazy that I have to be that, because people were like, wait, what do you mean? Siblings. I said, of the siblings, which Kardashian is the oldest? Which Kardashian is the oldest of the siblings? And I had to say siblings because people were like, Chris, Bruce. One guy put Bruce. I'm like, dude, he's not even a Kardashian. He's a Jenner. God. Anyway, he's a lovely man. He finished in last place, but that's okay. He had a good time. So I thought that was a get right question. I thought everybody would know that Kourtney is the oldest Kardashian sibling. Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, Rob. That's it. That's the order. How do you people have driver's licenses and not know this? Absolutely everybody thought it was Kim. Absolutely everybody said Kim. All right. Adam Reyna has a Rachel now. He's in the chat room. He says, I got a Rachel now. So anyway, congratulations to April. April was our new champion of trivia. James Parker from WVIP Afternoons 2 to 5. He came out. He sucked. That was really disappointing. Look, I'm trying to create a super team, and James is a really smart guy. And I had thought that maybe James could be a part of my super team. So I'm like, come on out, James. Let's get you in here. And I even told Bill, I said, Bill, James is coming, and so you're probably not going to win tonight. And I was right. He didn't win, but it wasn't James. It was April, because James kind of sucked. He did. I pulled him aside. I'm like, seriously, dude? I'm holding this scorecard, right? Because I judge the scores. I'm like, seriously, dude? I go, You don't know nothing. And he goes, well, trivia is different than knowing about stuff. I go, no, yeah, it is. Trivia is way different than knowing stuff. And then people need to understand this. Trivia is trivial, not important. Stuff that, you were never deliberately taught to achieve a goal or to become better at something, just stuff that you happenstance to know. That's what trivia is, which is why I love, there was another question I asked last night. I said, in the category of Around Town, where I create all these questions about Dallas, fun facts too. They all have to be fun facts, because if you get them wrong, I want people to go, oh, I didn't know that. That's it, So I'm shooting for reactions. I gotta be honest, I'm getting them. I'm feeling pretty good. There's nothing better. There's nothing better when I'm reading the answers, at the end of the quiz, when I'm saying, okay, and number 5 was, and I read the answers, and you get just a genuine response from a group of tables. We're like, fuck, I knew that. And then you get people yelling at each other. Like, I told you that was it. That's success. That's good. We're getting more and more of that. I love it. So here was a question that I asked in an example of trivia. What's the tallest building in Dallas? Dallas doesn't have any really tall buildings, so none of them are super famous. Like, we don't have anything over 100 stories, so none of them are like super famous buildings. But I thought, people in Dallas who live there their whole lives, maybe they'll know that. Nobody got that question right. Now, actually, that's not true. That's not true. A couple of people got the question right. But one of the people who got the question right, I asked them, I said, well, how did you get that? And they said, because growing up, my mom worked in that building and we had all kinds of like t-shirts and fun runs and all of it. It's the Bank of America Tower. And see, that's trivia. That's not something you're supposed to know. That's just something that this one individual trivially had from his life experience because his mom happened to work in that building. That's trivia. Anyone can be good at it. It's not like, oh, I'm dumb. Oh, I'm dumb. I would suck at it. No, trivia isn't about whether you're smart or your level of college degree. No, trivia is just about, what do you remember from your life? What do you remember just incidentally that other people might, it's fun. Anyway, that's why I love it, because I don't feel that it's an indicator on anyone's intelligence. And thankfully, that's the case with James, because James is very smart. James kept saying to me, kept going, dude, I grew up in the country without cable TV. I don't know any of these questions. I'm like, you didn't have news? Because a lot of these are current event questions. A lot of these are just general life knowledge. James can talk to you for 90 minutes. He can do a 90-minute TED Talk on, the instability of the Chinese slave labor market. He can do that for 90 minutes. But he ain't never heard of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Never heard of them. Who? What? I don't know that question. It's just interesting. Trivia. That's why it's fun. All right, every Tuesday, we're out there at the Back Nine. Come one, come all. We'll be out there next week. Next week's going to be a big one. Next week, we got special things planned and special people coming. It's going to be fun. All right. All right. Thank you to April, who is our queen of said chat room. And, of course, trivia now. Look at that. She's got 2 crowns to wear. All right, let's get started here. Let's do the rant. I'll get you straight up on all the stuff that's happening. We like to talk about, a couple of the things that aren't necessarily hot breaking news, birthdays, things that happened in history and all that. All right, so let's do that. Oh my God, I'm getting the hiccups. Let's do antecedently on this day. What do you say? Because today it is the rant for the 16th day of April. Yeah, April. 16th day of April 2025, 106th day of the year. That means 259 days remaining until the end of the year. Get them their New Year's Eve plans started. Antecedently on this day, things that happened in the past on this day. 1943, happy birthday. Happy birthday, LSD. That's right. For it was on this day that Albert Hoffman accidentally discovers the hallucinogenic effects of the research drug LSD. Sure, accidentally. That's what he told his parents. He intentionally takes the drug 3 days later on April 19th. Yeah, that's like one of them things they say. It's like one of the reasons for 420. But I always hate that because LSD is not weed. Can we stop sort of, just mingling all of these things? Yeah, it's 420 because we get high with weed on 420 because that's the day that, LSD, the first trip. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense unless you're just stupid and you're just drugs. Then why aren't we celebrating like sugar? Why aren't we celebrating caffeine? We should all have coffee at 420 if just the common link is drugs. 420 has nothing to do with LSD. Albert Hoffman, on this day, he accidentally made it. On this day in the year of 1947, here's a big story here in Texas. Excuse me. An entire town blew up on this day in 1947, Texas City, the big freighter explosion in the port there at Texas City. Big one. 600 people killed in Texas City, Texas, on this day in 1947. Antecedently on this day in 1961, in a nationally broadcast speech, Cuban leader Fidel Castro declares that he is, in fact, a Marxist-Leninist and that Cuba is going to adopt communism. It all started on this day in 61. That's when Kennedy's getting the boats and the missiles, and we're going to have a thing now, and oh my God. That was on this day in 1961. On this day, antecedently in the year 1963, U.S. civil rights campaigner. Really? He doesn't need a title. I'm like, oh, who could they be talking? Martin Luther King. Just stop it. On this day, Martin Luther King Jr. writes his open letter from the Birmingham jail, sometimes known as the Negro is Your Brother letter, while incarcerated in Birmingham. All right, big moment. That's it, and then nothing. And then pretty much nothing. That's 1963. I got nothing else I'm going to waste your time with. How about some birthdays? Let's talk about people born on this day. Do we have some good birthdays here? Yeah, we got a couple of interesting birthdays. All right, here's some folks born on this day. Are you ready? Let's do it. First and foremost, born on this day. What was yesterday's cool guy? Da Vinci, right? Yesterday was Da Vinci's birthday. He was cool guy of the day. Happy birthday, King Birthday Man. Let's see who's King Birthday Man today. Or woman. That's right. I don't care. I'm good with both. Born on this day in 1867, Wilbur Wright. Wilbur Wright. This is a big one. Wilbur and Orville, right? He was born on this day, 1867. Wilbur Wright. Yeah, not a standalone, though. Had to do it with his brother. Probably not going to be cool guy of the day. Born on this day in 1889. Boy, here's a real one. Here's one. Here's a real contender for cool guy of the day. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, born on this day in 1889. Apropos of nothing. Actually, that's not true. It is a bit apropos of Chaplin. Last night I started watching. So I got home a little bit later. I was out of schedule, so I didn't want to dive into my shows. So I just started watching some nonsense. And there's a lot of nonsense available to you if you have the right platforms. And I started watching an old Vice series, Dark Side of the 90s. My son is 15 years old and loves Robert Downey Jr. It's like probably his favorite actor, or one of his favorite actors. And why wouldn't it be? Robert Downey Jr. is one of the coolest actors in history. He's just so much fun and he's so cool. So I found this thing, Dark Side of the 90s, and it had an entire episode about what Robert Downey Jr. was like in the 90s. And I wanted to watch it because I want to show it to my kid because he's got no idea. Got no idea that his favorite cool guy, nice guy, perfect human, says the right thing, does the right thing, seems to be principled, seems to be heavily morally anchored. All of that. He has no idea what that dude was getting into in the 90s. He was incorrigible. I mean, I don't know if you remember what Robert Downey Jr. He was incorrigible. I mean, like, he failed every drug test. He'd get arrested. He'd get thrown in jail. He'd get bailed out. He'd have to do drug tests. He'd fail the drug tests. He'd get thrown back in jail. He'd get bailed out. He'd go out and fail a drug test. He'd get sentenced again to jail. Then he got sent to prison because the judge was like, you are incorrigible. Then he's in prison. He gets the shit fucking kicked out of him in prison. He was in a real prison for 3 years. Iron Man. Crazy. He also played Charlie Chaplin in a movie. And Charlie Chaplin is having a birthday today. So there you go. That's all I got to say about that. Born on this day in 1947, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Lou Alcindor. That's right. My grandpa was funny. My grandpa his whole life called him Lou Alcindor. He also referred to Muhammad Ali his whole life as Clay. Cassius Clay is fighting him. You mean Muhammad Ali, Grandpa? Bro, you can't just make up your own name. Let me tell you something. Grandpa wouldn't have done well with the whole trans in sports things. He wouldn't have been able to handle that. What? I mean, he couldn't handle Lou Alcindor becoming Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, born on this day, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, basketball great, born on this day in 1947. Also born on this day in 1947. Here's a guy. Let's check him out. Let's see what's going on with him, okay? All right, let's see if Spotify's working. Spotify was out earlier today. People were freaking out. All right, let's see here. Our birthday boy. Wow, didn't think that. Maybe we'll find it in... really? You gonna do this to me? You...
Right, here we go.
No, that ain't it. Forget it. Anyway, happy birthday. Born on this day in 1947. Let's say Jerry Rafferty. Huh? Remember Jerry Rafferty? They got some good songs. They had some hits. But what's most interesting about Jerry Rafferty, his album was Baker Street, a huge, massive album in the late 70s. A lot of really cool. If you love the yacht rock, then you appreciate Jerry Rafferty's place in the lexicon of yacht rock greats. Baker Street with stuff like what I'm just going to play for you there a little bit right down the line. But before that, he was in a band. He's in the band Steelers Wheels. He's the guy who sings Stuck in the Middle with You. You know, that's that guy. That's this guy. It's a good song, man. It's very relaxing. All right. I don't know how long. All right, wait. What else? What about this one? Ooh, this is the title track off of Baker Street. I'm gonna try and play along. Here we go. One, two. All right, probably not as great as I thought. Jerry Rafferty, born on this day in 1947. Born on this day in 1965. How about John Cryer? We like him, do we? I don't know. Ducky? Didn't like Ducky. Remember Ducky, Pretty in Pink? And then did he replace... No. I always think of him like he's the guy that replaced Charlie Sheen. He didn't replace Charlie Sheen. He was with Charlie Sheen the whole time, right? 2.5 Men. All right, whatever. What can I say? I don't know that I can riff much more on the career of John Cryer. Wait a second. Career opportunities. Yes, I can. Yes, I can riff a little more. Career opportunities. He was trapped in a... Wait, was that him? Is that John Cryer? Career opportunities? It might be. It might not be. There were a number of actors who kind of looked like, come on, let's be honest, not a whole lot of difference between John Cryer and Ferris Bueller, right? Did you think John Cryer played Ferris Bueller? He didn't. That was the other one, Matthew Broderick. They're like the same person. And then there was a bunch of other of these same types of guys running around Hollywood at this time. Career opportunities. Remember that? Let's say it was John Cryer. John Cryer and who was the girl in the white t-shirt and the yoga pants? They weren't yoga pants. I know, Jamie. It was like 1992 or whatever. We didn't have yoga pants yet, but they were whatever 92's version of yoga pants. Jennifer Connelly. That's it. So it was like John Cryer, or maybe not, but definitely Jennifer Connelly. And they were trapped in a Target store all night. Now, this was very exotic to me because this was before Target had come into the area that I lived. There were no such things. I didn't know what Target was. We had Ventures and Kmart's. I didn't know what a Target was. Anyway, they were trapped in a Target store overnight. It's like John Cryer and this hot chick. And they weren't there together, but they got together. Oh, my God. Jennifer Connelly has this scene where she's not trying to seduce him because she don't want anything to do with him. He's a dork. But she is trying to drive him nuts with her, like, how hot she is. And remember, she's wearing those tight yoga pants and the white t-shirt or the white tank top. and she's riding one of those coin-operated horsey rides that they have out in front of grocery stores and stuff. She's riding it really slow and just standing at him. Oh my God! I don't even want to show it to you. I won't show it to you. There you go. Happy birthday, John Cryer. Maybe that was you. Maybe that wasn't. In my mind, it was. How about this? Born on this day in 1965, Martin Lawrence. What happened? What happened to Martin? I'll tell you what happened to Martin Lawrence. I think. I don't know. It's what I choose to believe. And that's how we all act nowadays, right? We don't believe the fact. We just believe what we choose to believe. I choose to believe that Matthew Lawrence got his bag. Matthew Lawrence was huge, man. Matthew Lawrence was huge. He was making money hand over fist. What, 95 to, I don't know, whenever the last time he made a movie with, who did he make movies? Chris Tucker? Is that who he made movies with? No, who did he make movies with? Did he make movies? Will Smith? Maybe that was it. Yeah, it's Will Smith. Okay. I like to think that he just, he got his bag and was like, I'm done. I'm happy. But also, maybe I bet he's got money. I bet Martin Lawrence got a lot of money, living a life good. I don't know, whatever. Happy birthday, dude. I really have never thought that much about Martin Lawrence, but here we are. Martin Lawrence. Happy birthday, my guy. All right. Oh, you want to do a kiss, marry, kick? All right. Let's do a kiss, marry, kick. This is my version of the Vulgarian Howard Stern's F, marry, kill. I don't want to kill anybody. And I think F is just a little bit too hot. You know what I mean? We don't need to go that far. Kiss, marry, kick. I'm going to kiss, which means one night stand. We're going to hook up for a night. I'm going to kiss one. I'm going to marry one. And the other one, I'm just going to kick to the curb. I'm not going to kill her or anything. I don't want her dead. I don't want to see her parents sad. I just don't want to be around her anymore. So we're going to kick one to the curb. We're going to marry one of these birthday girls. And then we're going to have a hot, sexy one night stand with the other. All right, here you go. First up on Kiss, Marry, Kick. Born on this day in 1971, somebody I had no idea who this person was. But ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our first contestant, the Tejano singer, Selena. Look at her. Oh, boy. Looks like she's going to prom in a Mexican neighborhood. That's what she looks like. She's the queen of Jimmy Smith's High. That's... all right. I got to see more of Selena because honestly, she's pretty, but is she special pretty? A little too much makeup. Don't like the makeup. I mean, the outfit is, culturally different than anything that I'm accustomed to. So it looks like a funny outfit, but whatever. It's fine. Pretty smile. She's pretty. It's a terrible outfit. It is a terrible outfit. Okay, but it's the terrible outfit. As she looks good. She looks good there. All right, Selena. There you go. Selena is our first contestant in today's birthday Kiss, Marry, Kick. All right, are you ready? Are you ready for us? Selena, born on this day in 1971. How about this one? Born on this day in 1984. Am I going to make out with her hard, or am I going to marry her, or am I going to kick her to the curb? Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday, Claire Foy. Irish actress Claire Foy. She played the Queen, season 1 of The Crown, man. She's the reason that I became obsessed with the TV show The Crown. She's also the reason why I almost stopped watching after the second season, because she was done with her part of the Queen's life. And the Queen had to age, and Claire Foy ain't that old, so they had to move in. Who was the second Queen? Second Queen, I was like, dude, she's not Claire Foy. But whoever it was that they had that played the Queen in her 40s and like early 50s, right? Whoever that Queen was, I forgot her name. And I know she's another famous British actress, but whoever that was, she won me over. She was really good too. But Claire Foy, look at her. She was the original Queen, Queen Elizabeth. Terrific actress. Kiss, marry, kick. It's Claire Foy's birthday. What are we doing? Will I kiss her? Which means have a crazy one-night stand. Am I kicking her to the curb, or are we getting married and we're going to start a family together? Okay, here we go. We got Selena, born on this day in 1971. We got Claire Foy, born on this day in 1984. And we've got this one. Hold on. This is an interesting one. This is I don't know. I'm gonna ask the chat room. I want the chat room to comment on this one. Anna Taylor-Joy, actress Anna Taylor-Joy, born on this day. All right. So once again, recapping, we're doing Kiss, Marry, Kick. One of these women we're going to make out hard with and have a one-night stand with. That's the kiss. The other one we're going to marry. We know what that is. The other one we're kicking to the curb. Anna Taylor-Joy. She's an actress. I first saw her in Peaky Blinders. Look at her. Anna Taylor-Joy. Let me tell you something about Anna Taylor-Joy. Can I, hold on. I want to find a pic. There you go. That picture will do it. All right. I believe that Anna Taylor-Joy is what a space alien would look like if they were down here trying to pretend to be a human. I think she looks like a space alien woman. Like, there are people like, she's a gorgeous. I'm like, is she though? Is that her? Well, if that's her, see, look, she's just freaky looking, man. I'm sorry. Yet I got to admit, I'm kind of attracted to Anna Taylor-Joy. All right, there you have it. Those are your Kiss, Marry, Kick contestants for today. We've got Selena, born on this day in 1971. We've got Claire Foy, the actress from the Crown, born on this day in 1984. And, of course, we just showed you Anna Taylor-Joy, born on this day in 1996. All right, here you go. I have my judgment. You ready? First of all, I think I'm going to hook up with Anna Taylor-Joy. I think she's yes, she looks like a combination, AI sex doll and an alien from another planet, but I don't know. I'm intrigued by Anna Taylor-Joy. That's who I'm hooking up with. Now, who am I going to kick to the curb? Between Selena and Claire Foy. Oh, man, that's kind of hard. See ya, Selena. She's gone. I'm marrying Claire Foy. That's right. She's got a big career ahead of her, and I'll be along for the ride. Me, married to Claire Foy, hooking up with Anna Taylor-Joy, and then kicking Selena to the curb. Sorry, Selena, you didn't make the cut. Those are our birthday girls. Any other birthdays? Any other things we got to do here on birthdays, or is that it? Yeah, okay. Nick Diaz is having a birthday. No, I'm sorry, Nate Diaz. It's Nate Diaz's birthday. He's an MMA fighter. He's a troublemaker. His brother Nick's an even bigger troublemaker. But I love the Diaz brothers. I don't know what to tell you. I love them. I'll watch anything they do. They're just unapologetic fuck-ups who were probably too dumb. They should be massive YouTubers like the Diaz brothers. I don't know. Here's probably what happened to the Diaz brothers. There was a moment in time like 10, 15 years ago where if they had just started on YouTube, they'd have billions of followers now and they'd be superstars and mega wealthy. But I think like if someone had gone to the Diaz brothers 15 years ago and went, you should do a YouTube thing, they beat you up for being a fag. And that's like what I use that word specifically. Like, you fag! And then they beat you up. Oh, well. Oh, well. You ceded an empire to the Paul brothers. The Diazes could have been that. They probably just thought YouTubing was gay back in 2009 or whatever. Also, born on this day in 1993, Chance the Rapper. A fine young man. Chance the Rapper. All right, that's going to do it, I guess. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's move on to deads, right? These are people who died on this day. We're going to talk about where we think they went upon their passing. Did they go to heaven or did they go to hell? We call it the deads. Let's do it. Quarter 3. Dead on this day in 2010, controversial American police officer who led the LA Police Department for decades. He's a piece of garbage. Daryl Gates is going to hell. Pugs, why do you think Daryl Gates is a piece of garbage? Well, any number of things. I mean, he was there for the Rampart scan. Nothing ever happened to him. The guy is involved in all kinds of like shady shit. And let's not forget, he oversaw the police department at a time when they were just cracking heads willy-nilly for no reason. His governance, if you will, of the Los Angeles Police Department led entirely to the 1992 riots. They tried to put it on Rodney King and O.J. Simpson. No, it was the policies of Daryl Gates. But that's not why Daryl Gates is going to hell in my book. Daryl Gates is going to hell because back in the 1980s, he did the dorkiest thing and he made tons of money off of it. Daryl Gates used his platform as the Los Angeles Police Commissioner to create what we now know as the DARE program. that even though he was a city official, he trademarked it independently and sold the branding and all of that. Fuck you, Daryl Gates, using your position to oppress everybody. He's just an oppressive, dictatorial police guy. And then you create fucking Dare on top of that, you dork. Daryl Gates, he goes to hell. Here's a guy I saw sleeping once. He was I was told he was drunk. I don't know. He was it was like 10:30 in the morning, and it was the dining room of a fancy country club here in the Dallas area. It was like 10:30 in the morning. I was having a meeting, and at the next table over was a dude who was sleeping at the table. His head was on the table. It was 10:30 in the morning. There was a coffee cup there. He was sleeping. Now, this is a very famous person, and this very famous person was known to have overcome alcoholism years and years and years earlier. I don't know. He looked drunk to me at 10:30 in the morning, and the person I was with said, yeah, he's probably already drunk. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday to Pat Summerall. Pat Summerall. Or not happy birthday. He died on this day. Yeah, so the opposite of happy birthday, Pat. All right, where are we putting Pat Summerall? Are you kidding? Preemptively. Going to heaven. Pat Summerall's going to heaven. Pat Summerall was awesome. Pat Summerall in Madden. First of all, Madden's in heaven. I put Madden in heaven, even though I know Pugs, football coaches. Nah, Madden's different. Madden goes to heaven. And, you know, I don't really know much about Pat Summerall other than he always came off as a nice man and a gentleman and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, sure, he had, drinking problems, but it's not like I think he was ever like a horrible drunk, although they probably wouldn't have reported that stuff in the 60s and 70s. Pat Summerall was arrested in his Grapevine home today after beating the snot out of his wife. That probably wouldn't have been a headline in 1972. They probably covered it up. But I have no reason to believe anything like that ever took place. So Pat Summerall, even though I saw you sleeping at a table, he was like 80-something. Going to heaven. The great Pat Summerall. You know, his daughter is the chief of staff at the White House. Whenever you see that like dumpy lunch lady looking chick who's always like, off, like Trump, she stands out because Trump's entire cadre of women are all smoke shows. That's like a prerequisite until he actually needs competence. And then he gets the lunch lady who's Pat Summerall's daughter. When shit actually needs to be done, when a smart person needs to handle something that some hot chick fucked up, they go and get the den mother, if you will. And that's Pat Summerall's daughter. All right. On this day, dead on this day in 2018, I'm putting him in heaven too. I'm putting this guy in heaven, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to put him in heaven anyway. Harry Anderson. What the fuck is Harry Anderson doing dead? Why is Harry Anderson dead? What, did he have cancer or something? I mean, he wasn't an old man. He was born in 1952. He died in 2018. Night Court, Harry Anderson. Cheers, Harry Anderson. See, his whole bit, he was a con man. Harry Anderson was a truly interesting individual in an era where people were breaking out on national TV with sitcoms and being offered deals by all the networks. At a time when this was happening, this was almost exclusively happening for stand-up comedians who fit into a certain box. Every stand-up comic who went on the Tonight Show got their own sitcom. Harry Anderson did too. Harry Anderson wasn't a comic in the traditional sense. Harry Anderson was a con man. He was a classic big city street hustler. And he turned that into his presentation. The way you'd be walking on the streets of Chicago, maybe, under the tracks there on Wabash or something, or maybe in certain neighborhoods of New York City, you might be approached by somebody who says, you want to play a game? Not exactly something that happens, in Plano, but it is, a big city kind of phenomena. The same guy is going to open his jacket and have a bunch of watches. We've seen this depicted. That was Harry Anderson's comedy act. That instead of stopping, a crowd on a street corner and doing a Monty game, he's coming out on the Tonight Show and doing not magic. He's not doing tricks. He's doing cons. And it was fucking awesome. I became obsessed with how Harry Anderson worked. And then all of a sudden, now he's on Cheers and now he's on Night Court. I love Harry Anderson. I didn't know he died. I mean, I knew he died, but I'm always reminded of it. He's going to heaven. Harry Anderson, dead on this day in 2018. And finally, here's the last one. I'm going to preemptively put this bitch in heaven. Yeah, putting it, she's a bitch. Pugs, what about actresses? Nah, I don't care. I don't care. I make a couple of exceptions for different actresses. This actress died way too young. This actress died while she was enjoying her greatest role and her greatest success. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Helen McCrory. The lovely, the beautiful English actress Helen McCrory, who I didn't really know anything about. She's married to Damian Lewis. Bobby Axe from Billions. She's married to him in real life. He was also in Homeland. Damian Lewis is great. Damian Lewis as Steve McQueen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Tarantino film. Such a great cameo. Oh. Anyway, Helen McCrory was married to him. They were my favorite non-American celebrity couple. Helen McCrory was Aunt Polly on Peaky Blinders. She was like the badass female gangster from the 1920s. Oh, man, look at her. And then she got cancer. And then, Aunt Polly had to be... There's Aunt Polly. Look at her. That fucking woman will carve your heart out. She's so badass. Helen McCrory, I'm putting her in heaven. She was an incredible character in Peaky Blinders. I love her for that. All right, that's it. That's going to be all the people who are dead. Helen McCrory going to heaven. Who else is going to heaven? What do we do? Helen McCrory's going to heaven. What up? All right, let's do the rundown here. Daryl Gates, hell. Pat Summerall, heaven. Harry Anderson, heaven. Aunt Polly, heaven. The line for heaven's a little bit crowded today, but that's all right. Hey, something weird is happening here. Hold on. Shit. Huh. This is very strange. Oh, no! Oh, fuck me, people. This is not good. All right, well, I seem to have lost my entire show. All right, I lost the entire show. Everything that I had that I wanted to talk about is lost. All I have are remnants here. What the fuck just happened? I mean, I know what happened. I was doing something differently, and now I seem to have accidentally erased everything that I was going to talk about, my entire rundown, which is really just bullet points. All right, let's try and fucking freeball it, folks. I'm sorry about that. First and foremost, here we go. Let's get started. What do we need to talk about first? Oh, man. I mean, I had like things fucking clipped and like things I wanted to specifically read. I hate this shit. Try one more time. Let me refresh and just see if anything happens. Maybe on this one. Maybe. I don't know. Hold on. Guys, how did this happen? Oh, man, this morning, dude, I read this whole... I read this whole crazy Wall Street Journal article about Elon Musk and how he manages all of his kids and how we know he's got 14, but he's probably got way more than that because he's got this belief that all of the women that he's pregnated didn't concur and agree. He said this to them. He has this belief that his seed needs to repopulate this earth and he needs to create as many kids. Whatever. It was a crazy, awesome article about Elon Musk's legion that he is trying to build and how they're like, he's really just going to Mars for these people. He's really just trying to repopulate a whole new planet with his own offspring. Anyway, it was a great article. It's in the Wall Street Journal today. I don't know if any of it's true, but it sure is fun to read, especially if you think he's fucking weird. So there you go. We got that. All right. What else is happening today? And there you go. That's my whole thing. That's why I spent 90 minutes this morning reading and breaking down for that. That's all I got. Trust me, I had a lot of notes. I had a lot of funny things that I wanted to extemporaneously and off the top of my head say. All right, what's happening here? All right, this is the big story. So the stock market's crashing again. It's not good. Stock market is under 40. That's not good. We're at 39.4. We're down 959 on the day. Let's see if we can rally. How much time we got? We got 33 minutes. 967. The Dow is down 967. So the only reason I'm mentioning this, because yesterday I said, we're done talking about the Dow. It seems to have stabilized. Yeah, that was wrong. It's not. 1,000-point drop in one day is not stabilizing. It's heading in the wrong direction. But I don't know. Like I said, let's not panic until we're all in bread lines, okay? Let's wait until we're in the bread line, and then the guy in front of us will go, hey, we should have seen this coming. And then that'll be the moment for us to criticize and all that. Right now, let's just hold our breath and see if we get to that. I'm willing to go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. All right. What else did I have here? See, do you know what I have to do? I have to now just go through what news sites that I was on earlier today and go, no, wait a second. What if I do my history, right? Wait a second. No, thanks. Why is everybody always pushing AI on us now, right? I just got a pop-up that said, a new way to search. You can utilize AI. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm old. That sounds confusing. Man, I wanted to talk about, so locally, let's cover this, the Wilmer Hutchins story. So the Wilmer Hutchins high school shooting yesterday. Wilmer Hutchins, it's out there. I guess it's Dallas. They keep saying it's Dallas. I'm like, that seems pretty far out to be Dallas, but okay, we're going to call it Dallas. Need to get my eagle back. 17-year-old kid was let in by another kid through a side entrance at the school. The school has a history of gun problems because, it's one of them high schools in one of them American neighborhoods. It has a regular, let's just say that it's a neighborhood that has shot spotter technology on the street poles and all that stuff. That I'll tell you, shot spotter. I don't know if you guys think. Well, I look south side of Chicago. We know shot spotter. Shot spotter is a thing that the police and whatever they put on telephone poles, intersections, randomly throughout high crime neighborhoods. And what they do is they can tell when a gunshot is. So if it hears a gunshot, that immediately gets reported. It's called shot spotter. So if you're going to high school in a neighborhood that has shot spotters installed on the poles and stuff, then, you're going to hear gunshots. You're going to have gun issues. Yesterday, I didn't cover this very, very detailed, even though it occurred while we were on the show, because I kind of right away I went, oh, this is terrible, run-of-the-mill, everyday American violence, and this is different than the kid who's tired of being picked on and goes to school and cleans out his lunchroom with his dad's AR. It's different. Motivation is very important in these things. We should be fearful of both. But here's the thing. When there's a shooting at a school where there's a lot of gang activity and a lot of kids have criminal records and all that, right? I'm not as shocked, societally speaking, as I am when, a regular, everyday, middle-class American high school in the middle of Kentucky has, 15 dead in their lunchroom. That shocks me. The stuff that happened last night, I'm just like, yeah, terrible. These kids, they have to go to school in these neighborhoods. I don't know how to fix it. What am I supposed to do? But I'm not going to pearl clutch, and I'm certainly not going to conflate the two very different phenomena. Yes, they are both people bringing guns to school, and we have a problem with guns in school. They're both that. But the reasons that they happened are completely different. And one is, to me, far more chilling than the other. One is completely random and can happen anywhere. What happened yesterday at Wilmer Hutchins is the kind of thing that happens at schools in neighborhoods with shot spotters. So that's kind of why we didn't cover it. And it seems like I was right. 17-year-old kid is in custody. He was let in through a side door by somebody. He was let in by somebody. He was, don't know if he went to the school or not. He had a gun. He came in through a side entrance and he walked up to a group of individuals and began shooting them. Shot 5 people. One of them is in critical condition, 4 non-life threatening because this dork doesn't know how to shoot apparently or whatever. He ran, he escaped, he was on the lam for quite some time, and then last night at 9:30 he turned himself in to Lou Sterrett. So there you have it. All right, breaking news coming out of Hollywood. We've got a sad one here. I just saw this out of the corner of my eye, and why not? I'm freeballing it. I got no script today. Wink Martindale has just died. Wink Martindale. Now, I'm not talking about the NFL coordinator, Wink Martindale. No, I'm talking about the legendary game show host. I love this. You put Wink, just put Wink with a capital, and you get 2. You get Wink Martindale, American radio personality and game show host. And then the next one is Wink Martindale, football coach. I think this is the one who died. All right, let's see. Here he is. All right, we'll put this one up. No, we're not going to put that one up. Let me give you this story. You people could just go Google. All right, that's it. You don't need me. You don't need me to pull up pictures of Wink Martindale. Probably, if you don't know who he is, then I'll be done with this part of the show very quickly. And if you do know who he is, then you know what he looks like. All right, let me see. How did he die? Well, let me guess. Actually, let's read his Wikipedia page. Winston Conrad Wink Martindale. Winston Martindale. Wink. Wink is better. December 4th, 1933 to April 15th. Apparently he died yesterday. He was an American disc jockey, radio personality, game show host, and television producer, best known for having hosted Gambit from 72 to 76, and again from 80 to 81. He hosted Tic-Tac-Toe from 78 to 85, High Rollers from 87 to 88, and Depth from 96 to 98. I don't know any of those shows. I mean, I thought he did shows I watched. I guess Tic-Tac-Toe is the only one that I watched. Do you remember Tic-Tac-Toe and Joker's Wild? They were syndicated as a 1-hour block, but they were 2 separate half-hour shows. They usually came on at like 10 o'clock on what would become the Fox channel where I was watching. I was on channel 32. It was a syndicated channel, but it would become Fox 32 Chicago. Tic-Tac-Toe and Joker's Wild was great. They were so good. And I think that's where I got my initial love for trivia. Because even at like 10 years old, I could fucking run that shit. I could run those categories. I'm 10 years old. I'm sitting there playing Wink Martindale Tic-Tac-Toe, and I'm like, you people are stupid. Gary Cooper was the star of High Noon. I think the questions were really easy. I think they were really stupid. I think they were dumbed down. Anyway, Wink Martindale. Let's learn about his radio career. Wink was born on December 4th, Jackson, Tennessee. Started his disc jockey career at the age of 17 at WPLI. On the evening of July 10th, 1954, Martindale was showing the WHBQ studio to some friends when he realized, I don't care. How'd he die? Let's see here. Martindale died from lymphoma at a hospital in Rancho Mirage, California. He was 91. He was 15. Yeah, Pugs, that's it. It's 15. By the way, you guys noticed something different? I don't know if you guys have noticed. Maybe you have, or maybe you haven't. I have, because it's driving me insane. Little beard story going on here. So if it looks a little bit like scruffy, like I'm not trimming my beard anymore. I'm telling you what happened to me. I'm a beardsman. Okay, don't This means something. I have no hair, okay? But I have a beard and I can grow a beard. Fuck you. I'll get into a beard growing contest with anybody. You want to go? I've been growing a beard since I'm 15, 16 years old. So I take my beardmanship very seriously. I have a friend who is new to the game, if you will. He is now sporting a beard. And I must say, he is sporting a tremendous beard. It is a terrific beard. I say he's cheating because he's also got a terrific head of hair. And, see, my beard is a testament to me, my virility, because, I got this, but also, right? So I'm not completely... You ever see those dudes? Like, I know dudes. I know grown-ass men. They can't grow a mustache. It's so sad. They've tried. And then you got like a 48-year-old man who looks like a 19-year-old Hispanic youth. He's like, nah, I'm growing a mustache. No, you're not. No, you're not. Hold on. Someone popular just... Ooh, hold on a second, guys. Got to do something real quick. Let me tell you something. This damn dog. I just got it. I thought there was a scare. There was a scare where we thought the dog had gotten out and running the neighborhood there in Highland Park. And that is just not the truth. And it's all been settled. So thank you. I apologize for having to step away. Oh, this dog. I love CeeLo, but man, let me tell you, she is a high maintenance animal. All right, where were we? What were we talking about? We were talking about the death of Wink Martindale, right? Yeah, Wink Martindale. All right, let's reset. Let's just deep breath. Let's get a reset here. Once again, our executive producer of today's show is the incredible Leslie C. Thank you so much for that tip from yesterday. If you want to tip this show and keep it going, all you need to do is drop a little something in the Venmo or maybe the Cash App. It doesn't matter. Cash App's been lonely lately, if I'm being honest. Cash App's getting real low. All right. What am I doing here? Hold on. Wait a second. What time do I have? I'm so turned around because of the weird start time today. We started at the bottom of the hour instead of the top. You don't need to know my problems. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? What else do I have to talk about? There was a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about, and I can't believe that I deleted the whole show. Never going to do that again. Here's something. All right, whatever. We're just going to pick through stuff. All right, how about this? We'll watch this. The other day I was telling you about we're in the Easter season, right? The other day I was telling you about how John LaJoy, Taco from the League and stand-up comedy and all that, he's got this new thing that he's involved in. It is a Jesus podcast. It is AI Jesus. It is artificial intelligence has created a Joe Rogan-esque podcast, except it's hosted by Jesus. And John LaJoy is like, I guess, vocalizing it. I don't know. I don't know how the whole thing works. The other day I showed you Jesus on the Jesus podcast. Jesus talking about his favorite movies with his guest. That day it was Satan. It was Jesus and Satan talking about their favorite movies. Interestingly enough, Jesus' favorite movie of all time, Dumb and Dumber. That's right. Dumb and Dumber. He likes it. It's just pure comedy. It's escapism. Being Jesus, he's got a lot of things on his mind. And, sometimes when he wants to unplug, Dumb and Dumber, his favorite movie of all time. Satan's favorite movie of all time. Of course, Satan offered Passion of the Christ. Because it's the movie where Jesus gets tortured for like an hour. That makes sense. All right, so we got another clip here. We'll show this one. This is more from the Jesus podcast. It is the Easter season, so this one has a little bit more to do with Easter. Let's watch this. Is there beef between two of the world's most favorite? Is there beef between two of the world's most famous symbols of Christianity? Well, I guess it's not Christianity. Easter? I don't know. Let's find out. Here we go from the AI Jesus podcast.
So some people think that there's like weird beef between us, but I gotta say, I love everyone. That's kind of my thing. So that includes you, and I got nothing but love for you, my friend. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. And I have no beef with you. To be honest with you, before you reached out to have me on the podcast, I'd literally never heard of you. So why would I have beef with you?
Okay. All right. First of all, I don't want to do this in the whole thing. I'm just going to let it play. But that they opened with the Bill Murray to Joe Rogan thing. Just a couple of weeks ago, Bill Murray sits down with Joe Rogan, and the first thing Bill Murray says to Joe Rogan is, I have no idea who you are. So I just thought that was a really nice touch.
It makes me having me. And I have no beef with you. To be honest with you, before you reached out to have me on the podcast, I'd literally never heard of you. So why would I have beef with you? It makes no sense.
Totally. Yeah. So wait, did you say you've never heard of me?
Oh, no, I don't mean it in an insulting way. I just mean I don't really listen to podcasts. I'm not on social media. I don't watch much TV. Like a lot of people are talking about White Lotus right now. I have no idea what that is. I don't even know what streamer it's on. Are you an actor? Ooh, are you on White Lotus?
No, I'm not on White Lotus. So wait, so you're saying that over all the years of doing what you do on Easter, which arguably is a bit of a lighter lift than what I had to do, you're saying over all that time you've never once heard mention of Jesus?
No, I know what Cheez-Its are. I love Cheez-Its. Dude, I had a weed gummy on my way over here, and I would crush a box of those right now.
Cheez-Its are great, but that's not... there just aren't that many things that people associate with Easter, There's you, and then there's me. I've heard of you.
Well, yeah, I'm the Easter Bunny. Everyone knows Easter Bunny.
Oh, boy. Look, I get that you have pagan origins and that you're probably not super familiar with Christianity. That's cool. But you've, heard of, I don't know, the Bible?
No, of course. That's the band, right? That has the song with the amazing ending. Where no, tears streaming down your face.
So you think the Bible is the band Coldplay?
I'm more of a fan of the early Bible albums, not so much the dance pop thing they've been doing recently. No, thank you.
I'm just going to change the subject. Aside from Easter, what is your, say, second favorite holiday?
Oh, that's easy. The one with, with Santa Claus and the reindeer and the trees and the decorations.
You're messing with me, aren't you?
Yep, because I don't like you. We got beef, brah. You and I, we are not friends. We are enemies.
Oh, that's fine. I love my enemies, so I still love you.
Oh, you were...
I love the John LaJoy Jesus podcast. I need more. I don't know where I can find it. I don't think it's a real thing. I think it should be a real thing. I think if it wanted to be a real thing, it could be a big hit. The AI Jesus podcast. Okay, let's see, what else do we got here? Why not? We're just freeballing it. You know what we're doing now, folks? We are into the archives. Every show, I just have stuff that just is, one day I'll show that. One day we'll do that. One day. Should we check the Dow Jones again? Let's check the Dow Jones again, since that seems to be the only real news. 885. All right. We're rallying here with 14 minutes left until the close. We're rallying. We're only 885 points down for the day. All right. Did you guys hear Wink Martindale died? Yeah, that's too bad. He seemed nice, right? I mean, I'm trying to figure out, where did he go? Heaven or hell? Yeah, just without knowing anything. Wink Martindale, we'll put him in heaven. We're going to put Wink Martindale in heaven. All right. This is what a show would be like if I just put no work into it. This would just be what a show, if I had no plan going in. Okay, here, we'll show this one too. Here's another video. This came, I saw this one yesterday. I was going to, we were going to do this yesterday, but we didn't have time for it. So we'll watch this video too. Hold on a second. I don't want to use the song. There's a song over this, but let's watch this and let's talk about this. Okay. This is Bill Belichick at spring practice there. He's the new head coach at, what are we calling it? The University of North Carolina. All right. So Bill Belichick, he's 113, I think. And he's got a 14-year-old girlfriend. And, you know, the whole world's totally okay with it because, hey, you know, he's Bill Belichick. He's won Super Bowls. And that's basically the only thing that matters. You win a Super Bowl, you can get away with anything. That was OJ's problem. He never won a Super Bowl. You know, OJ wins a Super Bowl. Terry Bradshaw has killed multiple people, and no one knows about it. Because Super Bowls. All right, anyway, Bill Belichick, he's now, he's having this third act in life, which is pretty fucking cool. I think, wait, I don't want to give away. But Bill Belichick at spring practice, this is his, like, his girlfriend's in college, okay? She's still in college, which I'm totally okay with, and I'll explain. But here, he's being criticized. This is Bill Belichick, greatest football coach ever, coming out of retirement to coach, you know, North Carolina, which aside from producing a number of very highly touted but ultimately disappointing quarterbacks, I don't really know anything about Tar Heel football, okay? But here he is. All right, Bill Belichick, this is spring practice, and this is his girlfriend. This is how his girlfriend is hanging out at spring practice. Look at her. Look at that. And they're all just like, oh, look at her. She's digging in his pockets. She's playing pocket pool with him. He's like, okay, I got to go coach these guys for $100 million a year. There she is. Look at her, man. That is what, look at what Bill Belichick, God bless you, sir. God bless you. Whatever. It's disgusting. Fuck you, only for her. Why are you even chiming in on this? The only person that this would be possibly disgusting for is this girl. And guess what? She seems to be enjoying life with Bill Belichick. This girl is loving it. This fucking red carpet. She's hanging out with famous people. This is a girl who lived in a dorm until a year ago. And now she's like Bill fucking Belichick's girlfriend. It's great. He's got to be like 20 years older than her parents, right? That's all right. So stow your mock outrage. Here's what I'm going to tell you about. That's fucking, we're going to go back and we're going to watch it again. Stow your mock outrage. Anybody who's angry at this is just angry because they can't get it. Okay. Bill Belichick is a single man. He's dedicated his entire life to something incredibly stupid. Coaching grown millionaires to be better at a stupid sport than other grown millionaires. That's what he's dedicated his life to. And let me tell you, he's done it better and at a higher level than anyone in the history of the game. I'm just going with the programming, okay? I have some nuanced, I don't really think Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time, but a lot of people do, so we'll just go with that. Do you know what it's like being an NFL football coach? You have no life. Seriously, I know that it's a bit of a cliche at this point to talk about the coaches who sleep in their offices and they avoid their families for 10, 15 years. I mean, Andy Reid, who I actually think is a better coach, Andy Reid Have you ever seen his children? Have you ever seen what the wake of Andy Reid's drive for success has done to his children? It's destroyed them. It's a terribly tragic and sad home life kind of situation that Andy Reid, the lovely goof in those commercials, actually has. Why? Because he ignored his entire family for 20 years. But he's Andy Reid. So Bill Belichick does that. That's how his life is. Well, guess what? Here he is. He's an old man. He's retired. He's got fucking nothing. You know why he's got nothing? Because Tom Brady left him for Tampa. And then within a couple of years, he's out of sports. He's got nothing. He's old. All he's got is this reputation as being, kind of a dick, a really good football coach, and a whole crap ton of money and nothing to do. He's living his life. As my point is this, he's living his life. He could be dying of a brain tumor. Who knows? But fucking leave Bill Belichick alone and his hot-ass girlfriend. Good for him. They ain't hurting anybody. You people seem like a bunch of haters. It was disgusting. Again, I say only for her, and maybe even not. I don't know what she's into. People are into all kinds of things. There are a lot of women who are into old men. I know that sounds crazy. There are a lot of girls out there with sugar daddy complexes, and they like their old men. No lubricant needed, if you know what I mean. They're fine. Their sex lives are... People all mad at Bill Belichick. Now, I know I'm yelling like a guy who would like to date a 28-year-old, because I would. It's not really in my cards. But should it be in my cards? I'm not going to rule it out because you people think that I shouldn't be with something that I am actually sexually attracted to, because that's what this is all about. That's the great thing that goes unsaid. Old men who are single are supposed to date other old women. Why? We're not attracted to other old women. Now, old women might be attracted to old men. I don't know. That might work. And if it does, yeah, that's just another thing that's unfair. But guess what? Men can also pee outside in the cold. That's unfair. Anytime a guy's got to piss, he can piss anywhere he wants. Life is unfair. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm serious. Like, I'm not making this up when I tell you that the programming for generations has dictated that as men age, they turn into silver foxes. You see fucking Cary Grant in his casket? He was like better looking than he was at 25. Men become silver foxes. Women fall off a cliff at 39. That's always been the programming. So I don't know. So do I think it's possible is it more possible for a 25-year-old woman to be sexually attracted to a 65-year-old man than it is for a 65-year-old? Wait. I think it's more possible for a young chick to be attracted to an old man than it is for a young guy to be attracted to an old woman. There you go. I said it. You're the worst, Pugs. Well, fuck you. That's not that controversial. That's just, sorry. Anyway. But I would also tell you in the second half of my TED Talk on this subject, I would also tell you that sexual attraction accounts for about 12% of what a relationship should be about. 12% at most. I don't know, you're thinking, Pugs, how'd you come up with that number 12%? Must have been years and years of research. Nope, on the spot, just now. 12%. That's how good I am. All right, we're just ranting at this point. We're just ranting like a moron who accidentally erased his entire fucking show. There was stuff I wanted to talk about. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, we can do this. This is interesting. We can waste some time with this. Okay, guys, let's do this. IMDb. Jesus. Let's talk movies, shall we? IMDb. IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. Oh, there you go. Internet Movie Database, IMDb. The Internet Movie Database has put out their list of the 20 greatest films of all time. 20 greatest films of all time, as by popularity on IMDb, okay? Whoa, let me give you this list, okay? First, I'm going to show it to you. Let's pull it up. Do I have some kind of a graphic that I can show up? I just don't want to show the list from the text of the story. What is this? Hold on. This is a link to... Oh, there we go. This is exactly what I want. Okay. Look at this. All right, so somebody on Twitter already did this. All right, so here, I'll show you this. This is the IMDb list of the greatest films ever made. Let's go through those, and then, I know, this is wild. I'm not supposed to, I made a list. I made a list of my definitive top 10 favorite films of all time, and I will share those 10 with you after we go through this list. But this is IMDb. This is, as somebody called it, whole bunch of incels, the incel movie database is what somebody called it. All right, IMDb says that the number one greatest film of all time is Shawshank Redemption. Oh my God. Oh my God, see more movies, people. Shawshank Redemption is fine. Shawshank Redemption, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated movies of all time. I don't know how it just became this program thing where people are like, it's great. I'll be honest, to me, in my memory, it is indistinguishable from Green Mile. When I start thinking about the Shawshank Redemption, I start giving plot lines from the Green. Who was Michael Clark Duncan? Which one was he in? Tom Hanks, was he in both? Morgan Freeman, which one is he? Tim Robbins? They're the same fucking movie. And they came out at the same time, and neither one, both of them are good, both of them are interesting. Neither of them distinguish themselves to the point where I just can't help but conflate them. So screw you. Shawshank Redemption, number one. I mean, honestly, of all the movies I've ever seen, I mean, Shawshank Redemption might be top 50. But I would have to really dig in and do a real list because I do like the movie, but Number two on the IMDb database for the greatest films ever, Godfather. Yeah, that's not, you would think, look. On most people's lists, The Godfather is number one. But in the era of clickbaiting, you can't have the expected thing be number one. You have to have something else be number one so that people go, wow, that, because people are going to be mad. Because there is no fucking normal person on the planet that thinks Shawshank Redemption is better than The Godfather. It's just not. All right. Number three, The Dark fucking Knight. Are you kidding me? A Batman movie is the third best film of all time. Fuck you, Citizen Kane. Fuck you, Gone with the Wind. Fuck a Batman movie. Number three. All right. Let's see here. Number four on the list is The Godfather Part 2. So Batman Dark Knight is better than The Godfather Part 2, which, for my money, is better than The Godfather Part 1. Okay, is that what we're going with? Whatever. Number 5 is 12 Angry Men. They got that right. That's a good movie. 12 Angry Men is in my top 20. Top 15, maybe even. 12 Angry Men is a good movie. Oh, man. Number 5 on the list, 12 Angry Men. Number 6 on the list, Schindler's List. Never saw it. I guess it's good. People say it's good. I don't need that story. I grew up in the 70s, and we had this mini series on NBC that went for 10 days in a row called The Holocaust. James Woods, Meryl Streep, Fritz Weaver. It was really incredible. It was so well done. It was the Roots treatment given to the Holocaust. Maybe you remember it. So good. I get it. Got the story. I know. I don't need Schindler's List to show me how terrible this was. I already went through it. It's already registered. Man's inhumanity to man. That's right. Never saw Schindler's List. Schindler's List is on here as the number 6 best film of all time. Number 7 is Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Fuck you. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, according to these people on IMDb, is better than Pulp Fiction, which is at number 8. Fellowship of the Ring is number 9. Rounding out the top 10, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That's not even the best of the genre, but whatever. Forrest Gump is 11. Another Lord of the Rings. These are all dorks. Another Lord. So you are telling me in the top 12, is there any more? In the top 12 films of all time, 3 of them are Lord of the Rings movies. 1 of them is a Batman movie. Okay. All right. Movies were made before the year 2000. There are movies that are really good. Number 13, Fight Club. Fight Club is the 13th best film ever made. I just saw Fight Club with my kid. I rewatched it with my kid a couple of weeks ago. It's a good movie. David Fincher, I love David Fincher. It is not the 13th best film ever fucking made. Dune Part 2 comes in at 14, according to this list. Dune was good. It's not the 14th best film of all time. Inception is 15. Inception is an absolutely unwatchable movie, and I'm tired of people pretending like they understand what it's about. I get into this. Inception is the new 2001: A Space Odyssey. Inception is the new version of that. Nobody understands it. It is visually stunning, so you think something amazing is happening, and when you're done, you're like, wow, that was a truly epic film-going experience. One of the greatest films I've ever seen. What was it about? Well, you see, it's very... No, what is it about? What is the story that you followed in Inception? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And then people will double down on it making sense because their argument, although going unsaid, their argument is, I'm smarter than you. You're just not getting... Oh, fuck you. I went through that with 2001 with older people for years. Older people like, well, maybe when you're a little bit older, you're older. No, I'm older. I still don't understand. You were full of shit. Nobody understands 2001. Nobody understands Inception. Number 16 on the list, Empire Strikes Back. Although possibly the best of the original three, it's a top 15. All right, it is a top 15 for me. That's true. I think it comes in here at 16. I would put Empire Strikes Back in my top 15. Number 17 on the list is The Matrix. The Matrix is a very cool movie. It was a very stylish movie. It was a movie that looked so incredibly different. It looked like the future when The Matrix came out. We were like, wow. And the Wachowski brothers, they rode that. Brothers, sisters, what are their sisters now? What, they changed. Whatever. They rode that. But I never thought The Matrix was a good film. I never thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a very complicated and stupid premise. Interesting, intriguing, but very convoluted in the way the story was told. So, The Matrix can... I'm not a fan of them. I appreciate The Matrix. How's that? That's the way to say it. I appreciate The Matrix movies. All right, The Matrix movies comes in at number 17, or actually just The Matrix, the original. Coming in at 18, this movie comes in at 18. Are you fucking kidding me? At 18? Goodfellas. Goodfellas comes in at 18 on this list. And yeah, it is absolutely belongs on the list, but not at 18. Jesus Christ. Final two, 19 on the list of IMDb best movies of all time. Number 19, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Extremely good movie. Definitely a top 15er for me. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And finishing it up, another great David Fincher film. I think his second best, Seven. What's the best David Fincher film? Fucking Benjamin Button, man. If you people haven't seen that in 20 years, rewatch Benjamin Button now. Wow. That movie blew my mind a couple of weeks ago when I rewatched it. I was like, woo. All right, there you have it. That is the stupid IMDb, their official list of the best films of all time. Okay, so now I'm going to give you mine. I'll give you mine. We talk movies all the time on this stream because I love movies and all that. And I'm always like, that's my favorite. That's my second favorite. All right. So because you all know what my first favorite or my second favorite is, we're going to go from first and we'll count down to 10 instead of doing a countdown like my 10th. Y'all know what my first favorite film of all time. I think it's the perfect comedy. It is the very definition in the blueprint for what satire should be. Stanley Kubrick's, give you the whole name, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Number one on my list, Dr. Strangelove. Greatest film ever made. God, I love that movie. All right, number 2 on my list. And again, I'm only giving you my top 10 because I didn't really, I did 10 and it took a long time to get these 10 because I started out with like a pool of like 30 and I just had to I'm like, okay, no. It was a while, but I put in the effort. So here you go. Number 2. By the way, Dr. Strangelove, 1964, Stanley Kubrick. Number 2, my second favorite film of all time, Richard Linklater, Boyhood from 2014. Took 12 years to make this movie. Richard Linklater started making this movie in 2001 or something like that. And he had his core actors for the movie in 2001. And he made each and every one of the actors sign a contract that stated that they would be available for these specific months every summer for the next decade. So in 2001, like Patricia Arquette, she was like, okay, I guess I can do that. I don't have a lot of work. Every year for the next 12 years, these people went back to Austin, Texas for the summer, for 2 weeks in the summer, just like going to camp, like a family reunion. They went and they filmed another part of the movie. So when you watch Boyhood, it is literally, you watch this kid grow up. You see him age. You see him start to get a mustache. You see him get big. You see him turn in from an adorable little kid to this boy going off to college. It is one of the most incredible storytelling experiences I have ever seen. It is a masterclass. Richard Linklater's Boyhood, 2014. So good. So real. No car chases, no, just so real, so authentic, and so beautifully done in such a cool film experience. Boyhood, number 2. I struggled with number 3. Number 3 was almost number 2. Number 3 was almost number 2, and I went back and forth, and I went, no, you know what? Here's the difference. Boyhood is a film that I can pop on at any point, anywhere, no matter what my mood is, and I can just enjoy it and love it. And probably the same might be able to be said for number 3 here, but number 3 I use as a tool. Number 3 is something that I watch whenever I start to feel a little hinky, and I freaking love it. And because it's always on, I mean, not that I'm always feeling hinky, but it is on a lot. It's like a default thing that I'll just put on. And my kid watches it now all the time. And my kid's like, oh, I love that movie. Oh, that movie. I know it's your favorite movie. I'm like, wow, actually, son, it's my 3rd favorite movie. Talking about Silver Linings Playbook. Silver Linings Playbook from 2012. Robert De Niro, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence. Who else? So many. Just such a great film. I think it's the best thing that Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper have done. Silver Linings Playbook from 2012. It's my number 3 favorite film of all time. My number 4 favorite film of all time. Number 4. This comes from 2000. I love this movie. Most people have never heard of this movie. It's called Wonder Boys. Wonder Boys from 2000. Wonder Boys it stars Michael Douglas, Robert Downey Jr., Tobey Maguire, Katie Holmes. Who's the chick that wins all the Oscars and she's married to one of the Coen brothers? You know that chick? She's really awesome. She's like cool and everything. She's got a big giant mouth. Whatever. She's in it. Wonder Boys is the story of Michael Douglas. He plays a writer who had a hit book like 10 years ago. And he got a big advance from his publishing house to write the follow-up. And it's been 10 years and he hasn't written the follow-up yet. And part of the problem is that Michael Douglas is like a 60-year-old man who lives on a college campus. And he's a college professor and he hangs out with nothing but college kids, Tobey Maguire and Katie Holmes. And he smokes pot all day and he has spent all the money and he's having an affair with the dean's wife. Wonder Boys. God, Wonder Boys is such a fun movie. It's one of those, it's comfort food. And that's what a lot of these movies on this list is for me. It's comfort food. It's just shit. It's macaroni and cheese. None of these, don't be, well, Shawshank's a much better cinematic. No, these are my favorite movies. What makes a movie good? I don't know. That's all very subjective, right? These are my favorite movies. These are my 10 favorite movies. I don't know if they're the best. Some of them I think probably are. But Wonder Boys is number 4 on my list of my favorite movies of all time. Wonder Boys 2000. And by the way, as I was reminded of last night while I was watching the Robert Downey Jr. Dark Side of the 90s thing there, I think it's on Hulu, whatever. As I was watching it, I was reminded 2000 when Robert Downey Jr. did Wonder Boys, he was fucking all over the road. He'd just gotten out of prison, but he was he was on his way to going back to prison. He was so good. Robert Downey Jr. was so good in Wonder Boys. All right, Wonder Boys, number 4. Number 5, Goodfellas. There was a large stretch of my life where Goodfellas was number 2. There was probably a portion of my life, I'd say, between seeing Goodfellas in 90 and maybe 92, 93, when I really started to discover Strangelove. Goodfellas might have been my number 1. There was probably, I love Goodfellas. I can watch Goodfellas anywhere, anytime. Again, comfort food, but also, man, I think it's the greatest thing Scorsese's ever done. Scorsese's done a lot of good stuff, but I think Goodfellas just so perfectly captures. Scorsese had always kind of been chasing, I think, the magic that Coppola got with The Godfather. Coppola, through casting and through storytelling, he created a vibe and a scene and all of that. And although Martin Scorsese was, equally as successful as Coppola through the 70s and the 80s and all that, I don't know that he ever had a movie that achieved Goodfellas-like camaraderie, penetration of our social language. There was a period of time where every guy said, go home, get your shine box, at some point to somebody. I think it's Scorsese's best. Number 5, Goodfellas from 1990. Number 6 on my list of favorite films. Oh, before I do that, I'll give you the top 5 again. 1 was Strangelove. 2 was Boyhood. 3 was Silver Linings Playbook. 4 is Wonder Boys. 5 is Goodfellas. Which brings us to number 6. Number 6, Reservoir Dogs. I know what you're thinking. You're like, but Pugs, you say that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. It is. And it's certainly on this list. Okay. But Reservoir Dogs was the first thing that I ever saw Quentin Tarantino do. And I was absolutely leveled by it. I was just like, fuck, that was so. Seeing Reservoir Dogs in what year are we doing here? 91, I guess it says. Seeing Reservoir Dogs in 1991 was like the first time I heard Nirvana. How would I explain that? Well, because, maybe before the first time I heard Nirvana, maybe I had just heard the latest Poison song, right? So maybe Poison's doing something. And then the next song that comes on is Smells Like Teen Spirit. And you're like, fuck, whoa, that's different. That's something, right? I remember that. I use that as an example because I remember the first time I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit on the radio. And I went, ooh, sea change. Oh, completely different. This isn't Ace of Base. This is something different. That's what seeing Reservoir Dogs was for me. I was like, woo, this is punk rock garage filmmaking. There you go. So Reservoir Dogs is number 6 on my list of favorite movies of all time. Number 7, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Putting it right there. This is a film that over the years will climb on my list. It's only within the last couple of months that I've truly embraced it for the great thing that it is. And it has a lot to do with my son and I, and that we love it together. And so it will probably climb, but there it is. Number 7. Number 8, Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, Saturday Night Fever. I will still maintain that it's the greatest soundtrack in the history of film. That is the greatest. It's got everything. That thing, my God. And I know that it's not just because of sentimental attachment, because it's stuff that I remember from being a child. And, that stuff tethers to you emotionally. And that's why old people like their music, because it's tethered emotionally to them. No, my 15-year-old thinks the Saturday Night Live Fever album is a banger. He's like, no, that's good stuff, Dad. Maybe my kid's a dork. I don't know. Saturday Night Fever comes in at number 8. Number 9, Number 9, we're going to go with Beautiful Girls. Beautiful Girls. You ever seen Beautiful Girls? Beautiful Girls is a Ted Demme film. Maybe you know his uncle, Jonathan Demme. Ted Demme was also a filmmaker. Beautiful Girls is an ensemble piece. Who's in it? Everybody. Uma Thurman, Natalie Portman, Timothy Hutton, Michael Rappaport, Noah. I don't know what the dude's name is. Anyway, another incredible soundtrack, but a movie that I absolutely love. Beautiful Girls comes in at number 9. Number 10 was hard. Because, something needs to be there, and something needs to be in the top 10, and something needs to be 11. So which one just barely makes it? And I'm going to tell you who it came down to. It came down to 1963's The Great Escape, starring Steve McQueen. Just such an incredibly badass film. And 1980's The Blues Brothers. And I couldn't decide, so I flipped a coin, and The Great Escape won. The Great Escape is number 10. Steve McQueen, 1963. Again, interestingly enough, The Great Escape is parodied in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. One of the movies that Rick Dalton, the fictional character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of the movies that he was the star of was The Great Escape. They did a whole scene to show him when Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio, was the star of The Great Escape. Now, in real life, Steve McQueen was the star of Great Escape. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, there you have it. Those are my top 10 films. Number 10 is The Great Escape. Number 9, Beautiful Girls. Number 8, Saturday Night Fever. Number 7, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Number 6 is Reservoir Dogs. Number 5 is Goodfellas. Number 4 is Wonder Boys. Number 3 is Silver Linings Playbook. 2 is Boyhood. And the greatest, my favorite film of all time, Dr. Strangelove. There you have it. We can put all this stuff to bed. Hey, I'm not plugged in. I forgot to plug in my computer today. That ain't good. That is downright screwed up. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I got to plug in my computer. I just realized Oh my God, I'm a hungry man. I didn't eat any dinner last night because I went straight from here to trivia, and then we were late. We stayed at trivia later than normal, and then I gotta run home, and I gotta walk this stupid dog, who I love, who is not lost, by the way. Earlier, we thought the dog got out. Hold on. Earlier, the show was interrupted when we thought the dog got out, but the dog did not get out, so we're good there. God. You'd think I'd be able to... Yikes. There we go. All right. Full power. We have full power just in time for me to tell you we are out of show. That's it. That's it. I lost the whole show. What did the Dow close down at? What was, it doesn't matter. I don't care. We don't care about bad news, right? Blah. No plane crashes, no school shootings. I'm looking at some dude getting tased at Marjorie Taylor Greene's thing. Cool. I don't care about any of that stuff. All right, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm going to wrap it up here. Tomorrow's show, again, remember, a 2 o'clock start on tomorrow's show. And then Friday, we'll be back to our normal noon start. And, heading into the week, we'll definitely, I think next week, Monday, looks like it's going to be all noon starts. I would like to thank one more time our executive producer of today's show, the incredible edible Leslie C. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you helping the show out. You too can help the show out. Be the executive producer tomorrow. How? Well, biggest tipper of the day. Drop a little something in the Venmo or the Cash App. Does it look like I'm farting? I'm not. I'm stretching. That was a fart. There you go. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Is there anything else that I need to mention? Is there anything else that I need to mention? Oh. All right, here's a little pro tip for you. So one of the things All right, so I'm gonna tell you another. Why not? Got a couple of minutes here. So my son, one of the things that I love that my son does, and I don't even know if he does it. He might be doing it on purpose because he's very manipulative and he knows how to make people feel good about themselves, which I think is a terrific skill that he has. He's one of those kinds of people that people are like, wow, he really makes an impression. I'm like, yeah, he's friendly, nice, warm guy. He asks the right questions. Anyway. I know I'm biased. Stop it. I'm sorry. Yeah, and that's me. I should stop it. One of the things that I like that my kid does is occasionally when, we're just doing something, he'll repeat something that I said to him. I don't know if he remembers that I said it to him or whatever, but he'll and I love that because I'm always because first of all, they're always really good observations. And I'm like, all right, something's sticking. He doesn't know, and a lot of times it has to do with movies or comedy or, stuff. He's really into, I'm really into, when we watch stand-up comedy together, I'm really into comics owning the stage, controlling it, not looking nervous, just fucking dominating the stage, right? Like a predator. Got stage presence, look at the stage presence. I love it. Now my kid, he'll send me clips and he's like, check out the stage presence on this. I'm like, So one of the things that I taught him, never be afraid of bizarro food in random locations. Okay. like I told him, I said, dude, let me tell you something. The absolute best piece of chicken that I ever had in my life was at a gas station on the side of the road in the middle of rural Texas. It was just some funky bait. And it was up by Lake Louisville, or actually north, between Denton or what's that road? What's that road that's got, is it 360? Whatever it is, it's up there. It's up in that area. And this is probably going back 20 years. And I stopped and I could smell the chicken. I just stopped for gas, but I could smell the chicken. And there was just an old lady sitting there behind a little makeshift booth she had set up, and it's got all these signs, best chicken in Texas and all this. And I'm like, all right, I'll try some chicken. So I got a couple of pieces of chicken just because I was making conversation with her, and I thought, best fucking chicken I have ever had, roadside chicken. Now, if you were just passing through on your way to California, you might be like, oh, I bet that's the worst chicken. It's the greatest chicken ever. So I always tell my son, don't ever be afraid to eat tacos off of a street corner. Don't ever be afraid. These people, they put pride in what they do. Not everybody's out there trying to give you salmonella. So he says to me the other day, he goes, Dad, you know what? I'm like, what? He goes, I bought a fish sandwich from Kroger. I guess Kroger's got ready-made fish sandwiches. He's like, yeah, they're $2. They come in a bag. They're just in a warmer. And you just grab it and you eat it. I'm like, that does not sound good. Doesn't that sound terrible? Like a prepackaged fish sandwich from Kroger? First of all, you're 15. That sounds like something an old man would eat, like Clams Casino, something that would have been on the menu of the Titanic, a meal that is no longer around. I'm like, what are you doing eating fish sandwiches? He's like, Dad, I got to tell you. He goes, you find the absolute best food in the most random locations. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. But inside, I'm like, get the front. That's my rule. I gave you that rule. You're damn right, son. You're damn right. So last night, I found myself at Kroger after the trivia thing, picking up my, daily supplies and all that kind of stuff. And guess what they had? They had a fish sandwich for $2. Guess who bought the fish sandwich? Me. Guess who now has a favorite fish sandwich? Kroger. Now, I love the Filet-O-Fish. I even like the Big K, or the BK thing that they got. I think they call it the Whaler, whatever. That's very good. The fish sandwich at Kroger is better. I don't know what they're doing there. It's better. All right. So there you go. That was a nice little moment. Jeff says gas station tuna and chicken salad sandwiches. Now, I don't know about that, Jeff. Let me tell you something. That's different. You start getting mayonnaise involved and you start working with different things. Yeah. I don't buy tuna or chicken salad from a machine. Like, you ever seen those vending machines? Nope. No, thank you. That kind of stuff. I mean, I'll get that stuff from the grocery store, like in the deli counter, but that all looks very much like a deli, like a kind of deli that I'm comfortable with. I won't even get that shit 7-Eleven. You know, I don't know about that. But if you're talking about gas station tacos, gas station burgers, gas station hot dogs, gas station chicken, oh my God, try them all. If you find yourself in the middle of Texas and you're at a gas station and they're making brisket, get that fucking brisket. What is wrong with you? Why wouldn't you try this brisket? You are never going to be here again. This is what these people are fucking known for. And it's probably going to be super goddamn cheap because in the middle of nowhere, everything is super cheap. Get the brisket. That's my point. There's Leslie. No, you're welcome, Leslie. Leslie is our executive producer today, and we love her so. Thank you to Leslie. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to move out. I'm trying to push it. I'm like, it started at 1:30. It's 3:27. But now I realize that we didn't start at 1:30. We started at like 1:40. And I can't push this for 13 minutes. So we're going to say goodbye. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming out to trivia last night. And we'll see you tomorrow at 2. Remember, tomorrow's 2. Bye.